Will it rain? Though clouds glower overhead, I lift the black veil on my hat and put my sunglasses on so I don't have to meet anyone's gaze as we listen to the droning voice extolling Julia Green's accomplishments, as if she had just graduated rather than died. Errant, uninspired raindrops descend, enough that women pull their mink stoles closer, and many people look up, surprised. In this vast sea of celebrity, the stars who glitter in the cinematic heavens and the producers, directors, and studio heads who make their lives hell, no one believes there can be rain unless the director says, "Cue the thunder." We, the family, are seated in front of the mahogany casket, which is bedecked with orchids. Beside me, Leon is stoic, not an expression that reflects remorse. Does he regret breaking Julia's heart? Does he even care that she died alone in Paris? The thought makes me want to cry all over again. But hearing her voice in my head, "Never forget that you are Roxanne Granville, named for the romantic heroine of a great play," I forbid myself the luxury of tears. I remind myself that she sent me to l'Oiseau d'Or, a Parisian finishing school for the contemptibly rich, where I learned one never admits there's anything one can't endure, except for vulgarity. Like this vulgar send-off. Look at all this gaudy array of stupendously garish floral tributes. It's as though they were ordered by some freewheeling set designer operating without a budget. Julia, with her standards, would have laughed at every ostentatious moment, but she would have understood that it could not be otherwise. This is Hollywood, after all. She would not have been amused to see some of these faces, since Julia didn't share Leon's rabid anti-red convictions. John Wayne, Ward Bond, Gary Cooper, Hedda Hopper, Cecil B. DeMille, Ginger Rogers, and all the rest of Leon's staunch allies from the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals. They're all here, looking stylishly somber. Every one of them is well aware that we are simultaneously the audience as well as the actors in this mourning drama. Even a funeral becomes a theatrical occasion. Besides all the famous names, there are dignitaries from a dozen philanthropic arts boards that Julia generously funded. Their women look like moneyed bonbons. Our sweet neighbors, Fred Astaire and his wife, they're here. And dear Buster Keaton, with his always sad eyes. All of Empire Pictures is here. Not just the production chiefs, the financial wizards, and Melvin Grant's whole law firm, but all of wardrobe, makeup, set design, down to the lowliest gaffers and carpenters. Empire people loved Julia. She always threw a massive Christmas party on the winter solstice, and then insisted that the studio close down between Christmas and New Year's. Paid vacation for everyone. When she and I left California in 1949, Leon ended that practice. Leon casts a long shadow over all these Empire people, hundreds of them. I have vowed to myself that before this terrible week is over, I will step out of his shadow. I hope I have the strength. Julia always told me, "The more strength you use, the more you will have." I'm counting on that to be true. Leon takes my black-gloved hand and squeezes it as if I am 3 again, a child who needs to be reassured. My grandparents are the only real parents I ever knew. I call them Leon and Julia because that's what they called each other. Grandma and Grandpa are the sorts of names you might give to a tugboat. Leon and Julia are yachts, sophisticated, strong-willed, charming, manipulative, many would say, elegant, powerful personalities. The same cannot be said for the woman on my left, Florence, my mother, sitting beside her inebriate third husband, Walter. In the row behind us, I cringe to hear my brother-in-law, Gordon, inadequately suppress a burp. He sits with my sister, Irene, and Jonathan. Jonathan and I have been friends since we were tots, brother and sister without shared parents. I was basically orphaned and went to live with my grandparents when my father, Roland Granville, returned to his native England and the West End stage, and my mother, Florence, decamped with a South African animal wrangler she met on a movie location. I was about 3. Honestly, Florence was no loss to me. Then, and now, with a sidelong glance, she can reduce me to self-hating pulp. That's why she's sitting on my left. On the right side of my face, I have a birthmark, like a rouge too eagerly applied from my temple to my cheekbone. It's easily subdued with makeup, except when I'm upset for any reason, and then it's an unfortunate barometer of my emotions. An imperfection I can never quite forget, certainly not in a city that worships physical beauty. And really, what other kind of beauty is there?